What's going on, guys? And as you guys should know, it is Motivation Monday. Basically, it's the segment where I'm just going to get you guys fired up for the week. And I know it's 10 o'clock and it's pretty hard to be fired about, at 10 o'clock, but I'm fired up. Hopefully you guys get fired up. So we're just going to go and get on into it. So if you guys remember in the last motivation video, essentially I did the same thing. I just a bunch of quotes that I like from famous people or just, motivational speakers or whatnot, Gary Vaynerchuk, and I put them all in a Excel spreadsheet, Word document. This is actually my OneNotes, and I basically go over them and how they will apply to you. So let's get on into it. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys about, and I'm not going to hit every single one of these because I want to save them for, another time, but we'll kind of skip around here. So the first one is pretty good though. So I do want to hit on this. It says, it's not what you do that guarantees wealth. It's what you are. And that is so true. And basically what it's saying is that, who you are as a person guarantees wealth. And this kind of goes back to, let's call your self-concept, right? So basically, that's who you are as a person and how much you are wired to make. So like I said, I gave that example of Donald Trump, right? Where he was, walking down the street, saw a homeless guy, said he was $4 billion richer than Donald Trump at that time. That's when he was in massive amounts of debt, right? And now, as we all know, he's a billionaire, okay? So it is truly who you are, and the way that you can personally, develop yourself, right? Kind of what this channel is about. The way to kind of improve yourself is by listening to others, right? And it can be in any sort of form. It can be written, it can be audio, it can be video, right? Those are the main forms. But yeah, so it's really cool. It kind of brings it back down to that concept of value, right? So how much value do you bring into the economy? Because rich people are not paid on how much effort they put in, right? They're paid on how much value they bring somebody. And that's where the mindset kind of flips. And I'm going to go and get into the next kind of couple of quotes here. This is pretty cool. I do like this one. It says, operate at a level where fear does not exist. And this is really motivational. It's very, very interesting because I find in a lot of times just kind of doing what I do that, you do definitely have to step out. You have to be your own coach at some times. You have to be your own cheerleader. You have to do things that most people aren't willing to do in order to, achieve those results that most people have not gotten to. And a lot of that's scary, right? So what you need to do is you need to take that obstacle and then be above that obstacle. So that's really what that means. And this is more of just of an affirmation. It says, I expect to have a consistent flow of high income. And that is a very, very strong affirmation to say every single day. And the reason why it's such a good thing to say is because it's kind of double, honestly. And I don't know, I'm going to go off on a little bit of tangent here. If any of you guys believe any sort of like deity, right? And then, basically I actually did have this, self-image of this concept, this delusion really, that it's not right for people who, believe in my case, Christianity, right? Or Christianity, right? And something, it's not right for them to be rich. It's greedy, the love of money, or it's the love of money, it's a bad thing, right? And it's really not. And the way that I was kind of the way I was able to flip that switch is basically just realizing, first of all, this quote, it says right here, God wants us to prosper financially, to have plenty of money to fulfill the destiny he has laid out for us. And that's so true. So the destiny is laid out for us. A lot of it, you need capital, you need money. And it's really just comes down to power and influence, right? So if I want to influence 1 billion people, I'm going to have to get, millions of dollars to get in front of those billions of people in order to teach them what I need to teach them, right? You can't teach them without, in our case, it's going to be, the internet, right? With, the cell phone, with the laptop that I'm using right now, with this microphone, all that stuff costs money. And a lot of really cool things just come out of it. Now, the other thing is that quote, a lot of people get that scared. It's the love of money is a sin, not money is a sin. And that really helped me flip that switch. So yeah, kind of more of an affirmation. It did get me out of that rut because honestly, I was making, not too much, like 40,000 a year, somewhere around there. And I think I was honestly just detrimenting myself because I had this, this negative self-belief that wasn't true. And now that I believe that I need to actually, grow as much as I possibly can, be as wealthy as I possibly can to not only give back, financially, but also to give back, in this case would be, education, right? So that's really something that I wanted to kind of hone in on today. A couple other things. Let's see here. Oh, this is really nice. I like this a lot. It says, any self-made millionaire will tell you there's a very long period of time in the beginning of wealth building process where you must focus on yourself and your business in order to succeed at an uncommon level. They know it's not the highest level of thought, but they sure know it's necessary to create massive success. And this is so true. Basically, the way that I kind of describe it in the beginning of my entrepreneurial, or just success in general, was you're kind of born in this rut, right? Especially for people who aren't necessarily born into rich families, who kind of have just negative self-beliefs, or just negative beliefs in general about money and how to acquire it, how to maintain it. You're kind of born in this rut. You're kind of at a disadvantage, right? And what you need to do is you need to take massive action as fast as possible to kind of I won't say dig your way, that makes no sense, but kind of, get out of that rut, so kind of climb your way out of that rut. And once you're out of that rut, once you're out of that initial spot where you kind of have that, basically that foundation of knowledge. So imagine this, you have, just a foundation, right? Bunch of holes, just holes everywhere, cracks, rifts, just nasty stuff, right? What you want to do is you want to fill that foundation so it's very structurally sound, and then you can build upon that. And what's cool about this is once you're out of that hole, in this metaphor, the foundation, once it's flat and once it's super nice, it is so easy. From there, it's just an easy coasting process. The hardest part is this first part where it says right here, any self-made millionaire has to go through massive action, and that's very, very true. This is another affirmation, especially like I said with the religious beliefs and everything like that. It says wanting to get rich doesn't make me a bad person, and I think that really, really did help me. So yeah, let's go ahead and see what else we have. So this is super, super cool, and I'm gonna go and do two more. So I'm gonna try and dig the nicest ones out of here. But check this one out. It says, if I just happen to use this simple system of compounding, I can make a lot of money. I can do whatever I want. I can live however I want. I can be financially free. There are no limits except the ones I impose on myself. And this is so, so, so true. This is a gold mine. I'm going to show you guys really quickly. If you guys don't know about compound interest, you guys should. So I'm going to show you. So basically, the concept of compound interest is you invest, right? So you invest in a stock, you invest in real estate, and what happens is, so say you invest $100, right? And you get 10% return. That means every single year you're getting 10% or 10% on that $100, which is in that case $10, okay? And it compounds. So it's $100, $110, and then you take 111, so it'd be 121. So I'm gonna show you guys a nice little example. So really cool. Let's just go and say my current principal is $1,000, right? So that's what I put in. Now each year, let's say I put in $10,000, right? So let's just say let's do this. I'm the median person. I make $50,000. Let's say I make $50,000. Let's say I put away 10% of that, right? Which means that you're going to put away $5,000 per year. Now, check this out. And this is literally just blows my mind every single time I look at this. And it's a really, really neat thing. So let's say years to grow. Let's do 65. Let's go and do an interest rate at 10%. Oh, let's just be a little bit generous. Let's go 12%. Compounds one time annually, and then we'll calculate this. $75 million. Okay, so you went from 1,000. Every year you stacked up $5,000, right? And at the end of this, you have $75 million. And that's just the power of compound interest. Albert Einstein actually has this amazing quote. It says, one of the wonders of the world is compound interest. And this will actually be my last little anecdote, okay? So this is really cool. Benjamin Franklin, and I'm not going to get this exactly correct, but Benjamin Franklin, when he died, he put away oh man, I don't know how much it was. It was like $1,000 or $100 or something like that. And he gave it to two cities in, where was he from? Massachusetts. So I think he gave it to Boston and some other city, right? And he said that they need to put it in for 100 years in a, some sort of stock, or I think it was actually the S&P 500 index, which I'll get into that earlier or later. But it's a very reliable way to get 10% on your money over a extended period of time, right? So he did that. I think it was $100 or $1,000. I don't remember exactly what it was. And he said after 100 years, right? 100 years, I'm not getting these numbers 100% correct. They're able to take out 50% of whatever was in there. They can't touch it until then. But after that 50%, it was supposed to be over, let's just do the math. I think it's supposed to be over like $1 million, something like that. So current principal, $1,000. Annual addition, they added nothing. Years to grow, 100. Let's say it was 10%. Okay. $13 million. Okay, so he probably said $10 million. That's what I'm assuming. So he said it should be around $10 million, 100 years from now. Then you can take out half of that. So he's take out $5 million, right? So we're going to do the math here. So you have $5 million now, right? Annual addition, years to grow. Perfect. Okay. Now, he said after that, you let whatever is left, so half of whatever is left, right, for another 100 years, and that should be over $100 million, and then you can just use that for whatever. I'm pretty sure that's where it is. Okay, so close, $50 million. So that's $68 million. So you might have said $50 million. But that is my point, is that is absolutely insane to think that you can become a millionaire and such a easy thing to do. And if you guys think, 65 years, like I don't want to wait 65 years, it all depends on how much money you put in and how soon you start. So if you're starting at 16, 18, 20, 25 years old, you're at a huge advantage. And the more income you actually bring in, the faster it's going to grow. And you don't have to wait 60 years, right? It usually will take around 30 years, and you guys can kind of calculate this, but a very, very nice thing to know. And that's pretty much it. So as far as motivation goes, guys, I mean, it really just comes down to knowing your self-worth, right? So it comes down to your self-concept as an entrepreneur, or as whatever you want to be, just a business person, businesswoman, whatever. You need to have a set amount of money that you are designed to make every single year, right? And then you can increase it, right? You can increase goals. And you will not stop until you do that, no matter the adversity, no matter whatever. And then throughout this, channel, I'm going to be giving you tips, like one of them being, compound interest, right? A way to just make a bunch of money. And that's pretty much it. So if you like this content, definitely hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. I do cryptocurrency, and I do Shopify. So tomorrow will be cryptocurrency. Wednesday will be a whiteboard day where I go about this investment series. And then I go into crypto again, and I go into Shopify on the weekends. So that's all I have for you guys. Like I said, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hope you guys have a good night. Thank you.